All right, Shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites who come in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America, the land on which we stand. To wake up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indian, Speckled Bird, get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, and get back into the ordinances of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. First and foremost, and as always, all praise is due to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, tabernacle of David. All right. Another beautiful day out here. Okay. Doing His work. All right. And the famine of the word is coming soon. All right. So let's just get that out. It's the book of Amos 8 and 11, I believe. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So if you don't get this, knowledge pretty quick here, all right, what does it mean that the famine is here, right? That the end game, the elder apostle today, earlier, while we were fellowshipping, sometimes he makes a video and and he posts a video and he's corresponding on the live chat, which he was doing today, right? And it's always a blessing. And in the video, which was pre-recorded, you could tell because he's corresponding. And so he went into how much time that he believes, speaking as a man, but a learned man and a man with vision, right? He wasn't prophesying, but he said that we got about a year and some change. He said the rest of this year and then the beginning of next year, which is about a year when you look at it correctly. And when he said that, it resonated with my spirit because that's about the time that I see with what is going on right now, okay? And the famine of the word plays its part in that. Let's get that real quick. Let's get, how do you tell the time? Well, you got to measure it. So let's go to 2nd Ezra 9. Okay? See, because that's, my thing is this. Realistically, as a man of the Lord, Lord willing, we be those men, how much longer do we got to spend in hell before we're out of here? Well, according to number 1, the elder apostle Tahar, right, said a year and some change. Okay, so what does that mean? That means in the next 3 months, shit is going to, and he said this, okay, shit is going to speed way up in the next 3 months, okay? You got that debt ceiling. That's going to force this devil to do some devilish shit. This is 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, all right, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the beginning, Salaki, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, so here's how you measure the time. How do you measure the time? You look at these prophecies. He mentioned two of them, earthquakes and uproars. Okay? And there are more. All right, you got the sea hit. Okay? You got World War III. Okay? So when you're measuring, you're like, okay, well, where are we at in World War III? Well, in order to get an accurate view of how far we are or how close we are to World War III, you can't be watching the mainstream media. You have to have a different source other than what these people do or don't want you to know. All right? It's the Moses garden. Anyway, so you watch the Canadian Prepper. All right? You watch who's real good at bringing out what the hell is going on and what's not going on in World War III. Well, hey, Canadian Prepper CP is old Nate is a good source of information. You know, and there's a few others, but I can't think of at the moment. But the point is that if you don't know, all right, the magnitude of attempted assassinations on a country's president, okay? First of all, let's take, for example, Muammar Gaddafi, the president of Libya, okay? Saddam Hussein, the president of Iraq, okay? What did Babylon do? They went over there and they just assassinated. They put a hit, a public hit on a country's president, okay? And this is what Babylon does, all right? Now, here's the difference. When you are trying to do that to somebody that has more nukes than you, okay, that's one thing. Here's two things. The scriptures tell you that the Medes are going to take down Babylon. What do you do with that? Okay? Well, you measure that. You pull out your spyglass and you're like, oh shit! They're speeding this thing up. Okay, June, in the middle of June, I'm not sure exactly when, but when is the debt ceiling due date, if you will? I believe let's say halfway through June. Okay? Well, you got what? You got a month and some change. So what is Babylon doing right now? Babylon's like this. We need maximum fucking distraction. Babylon is saying this. We need maximum distraction. What is the WEF saying? We got to speed this thing up. This is what the WEF said days ago. Let's say 3 days ago. They said, we got to speed this NWO shit up. We got to speed it up. So they said later this year, whatever, we're going to have an emergency meeting. Later this year is next week. Okay? When you understand how the devil moves, you go, well, later this year we're going to have an emergency meeting. No, you're going to have an emergency meeting later this year? What does that mean? See, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. Okay? And how are the things of Esau searched out? I'm paraphrasing. And we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. He's saying two things. Well, we're going to call an emergency meeting, right, later this year. Does that mean in December? If it means in December, it's not a fucking emergency. You're saying two things. Here's how you search Esau's shit out. Let's go into it. You got to understand who your enemy is. Sun Tzu. Well, let's start right here. Here's your instructions. This is Sirach 12 and 10. You got to understand this fool. Know how he moves. Well, guess what? The scriptures tell you how this fool moves, so that you know what he's going to do. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. You got to keep your eye. You got to know how this fool moves. Never trust him. What did he say? He told you something that means something totally different. Well, we're going to have an emergency meeting. This is Klaus Cottonschwab. We're going to have an emergency meeting later this year so we can speed up bringing in this Agenda 2030. Let's unpack that, okay? According to this, all right? Jump down to 16. Sirach 12 and 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. All right, so what is he doing? He's making you believe that later on in December, later on this year means next week. To the devil. What is he doing? He's being the fucking devil. Do you expect this dude to do anything other than be the devil? That's all he can do. All he can do is lie, cheat, steal, and murder. That's it. So where do you find, in these words right here, okay, we got to bring in this new, what does bringing the New World Order mean? What? Georgia Guidestones. What is the first law in the Georgia? We got to go kill billions of people. Murder. So how do you bring in the New World Order earlier? Well, it starts with murdering billions, 7.5 billion people. Bringing in the New World Order means this. Well, the first thing we got to do is murder 7.5 billion people. We got to do it quicker than 2030. This is what he's saying. And then when they say, well, later on this year, we're going to hold an emergency meeting. No, emergency means now. Later this year means next week. How do you know that? Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power hath made. Got you, devil. Measure thou the time diligently in itself. Okay? How do you do that with the devil? Well, you pull out your magnifying glass and you wipe it, knowing that you have to measure the scales on this fucking serpent. And when you find a chink in the armor, if you will, then you see right through it. Okay? So they're going to hold an emergency meeting, let's say next week, because that does qualify as later on this year. When you play the devil, right? When you guarding the devil on the basketball, you gotta play him close, right? You gotta play him close. The devil is like Larry Bird. Is like, you gonna have this Edomite guard me? That's an insult, right? Devil is like that. Okay? So, what do you get out of that? Well, let's go back to the scriptures. Here's how, see, is wisdom and knowledge is how you make it to the end of this thing. How do you endure until the end? Wisdom and knowledge. This is Revelation 12 and 12. How do you know what's going on? Scriptures are telling you. Follow the paths, the old path. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. He got to speed shit up. He just said it out of his own mouth. It doesn't mean later this year. Or we're going to hold it. No. Them niggas are on planes right now, checking into hotels for Thursday's meeting. Okay? Making you believe that it's in December. No. It's now. That's called deception. His name ain't the devil for nothing. Okay? Vlad is mad. Oh, you finna assassinate for real. For real. Okay. All right. Now what? Now we step it up. We step it up. Two things. Oh, you're trying to assassinate the president of Russia. Not the first time, they've been doing it, but as early as last Sunday in Moscow. And see, a red-blooded meathead, dumb shit American, you understand this. They tried to assassinate President Trump at the White House. Pick up your gun. Right? You understand that. But you don't understand this. They just tried to assassinate Vlad in Moscow. Right? As Matt, and see, you devils are waking up, you low-level devils, right? That's a new phrase, low-level devil. You have-nots, you two-time losers on the bottom, right? You know everything about what's going on right now. I'm going to show you programming, right? When I was in the service, what do they do? MK Ultra. Complete MK Ultra. Stockholm Syndrome. All right? They will get you to charge a motherfucking 60 gun without thinking twice. Go take that 60. Ah! Semper, right? So, knowing everything, see, you got these preppers out here right now. And these preppers, what are they doing? They're sharing information. They know some shit. These low-level devils, they know. They're like this, oh, you've been lying to us. Oh, you know what? God damn it. These niggers are right. The white man is the devil. Woke up to the truth. They're mad, right? These motherfuckers, you sold us out. You're coming to get us. Here's what the preppers understand now. What are they doing? They're coming to get us. America's over, right? That's where they are right now. Send out a hit. Let Vladimir send some drones to Mar-a-Lago, right? Talk about we're going to assassinate your president, right? Don't you know that these motherfucking meatheads will jump up with their weapon like a motherfucking MK Ultra robot? They'll jump up. This is America. This is America. Well, wait. I thought that they sold you out. Aren't you mad? This is America. Don't go. The magnitude. I'm trying to illustrate, if you will, the magnitude of what the fuck is going on in Russia. You're flying drones into the country of Russia, who has more nukes than anybody. Gotta wake the fuck up. This is World War III. It's going on. They put Tucker in front of your face. Hey, Tucker Carlson. Hey, now he's on drugs. Now he's going to rehab. Hey, look over here, right? Because something's going wrong. All right, Vlad is being a fly in the... See, Vlad's supposed to be on board. Why are you trying to assassinate Vlad? Because he's rogue. He done went rogue. Now you're scared because he's got the most bombs, nukes. He's got the most. He's rogue. Now you have to speed your shit up. Right? So what the elder apostle said, right, about how quick this thing is moving, right? What you got to do is you got to watch his videos on Odyssey too, right? He put up a video on Odyssey, I believe it was yesterday, dealing with the press, going back to the famine of the word. Now the press is like this. Viva la Carlson, right? I'm going to do what Carlson did. I'm going to step up to the press corps, right? I'm going to step up to the press corps. All right, Ishikar, you got one more day to laugh. And I'm going to, what did he say? This is good trouble. I'm trying to get in some good trouble, right? I'm trying to get in some good trouble. He's exposing everything. Saying shit you ain't supposed to say. So the jig is up, right? What does that mean? That means that famine of the word. Here come the prophecies, one after another. Famine of the word. What does that mean? That means that the elect are sealed, right? That means this devil, in order to stop this word from coming out, to create the famine, he's got to do some shit. What does he got to do? Ultimately, first you got to take YouTube. Second, because as soon as you take YouTube, what are we going to do? We're going to do the Daily Motion switch up, whether it be the Odyssey, Rumble, whatever. And then you're going to take those down. Then you're going to demonize us. You're going to persecute us, right? You're going to try to. And this is all part of the dominoes falling in place. These things must needs be. All right? The elder apostle is doing what? Second Peter 3:11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, here come them nukes. Who's bringing them? Vlad. Vlad is mad. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation of God? What are you supposed to be doing right now? You're supposed to be saying, look, we got a year and some change, and in the next 3 months, shit is fucking gonna speed up and be out of fucking control. right? If this thing is coming to an end in a year, what has to happen before that year is up? All out chaos. Got to be, see, when you got your measuring stick out, right? You got the ruler, you got the measuring tape, right? All hell got to break loose before we get out of here. And it has to be for some sustained period. You're not going to waltz through Jacob's trouble, right? It's going to be a fucking odyssey. You talk about Rumble, nigga, it's going to be an odyssey. Okay? So, I made a video yesterday. Any day now. At any time, any day now. What does that mean? They're going to shut the lights out. Okay? Oh, you're trying to assassinate Vlad. Right? World War III came up that much closer. Right? Here's another thing that the brother Samak down in, where is he at? He's in Florida. What part? Miami camp. The Miami camp, right? The brother Samak, who's really good at the war aspect, right? Probably because he was a soldier, and once you're a soldier, then you know. But see, he's seeing things from an insider's perspective, if you will. So he makes these really good World War III daily update videos. And I watched a video yesterday, and what he keyed in on is that in Syria, see, it's one thing to be fighting or dropping bombs in Moscow, right? That's the Most High stirring Vlad up, stirring up the Medes, right? It's another thing to be fighting in the Donbass region of Ukraine, which is in Eastern Europe. But it's a whole different ball of wax when you're fighting in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, which is the Middle East. So this is what the brother brought out. He brought out that Iran, Russia, and China have America surrounded in Syria. Woo! What does that mean? See, don't be distracted by these other fronts. All right, you got about 4 major theaters of war. You got Eastern Europe, you got the Korean Peninsula, you got the South China Sea, and you got the Valley of Yehoshaphat. Okay? Then you got whatever's going on in the Sudan, right? Ethiopia, which kind of died down for a minute, but that's right there. Sudan and Ethiopia are right next to each other. And then back to Libya, because they're mentioned in here. They're mentioned in Ezekiel 38. So when you're watching this thing, where's the final battle of Armageddon? In the Valley of Yehoshaphat. So back to the brother Samak out of Miami. He brought out that Iran, huge. Iran lives there. Russia and China are all in Syria and got Babylon the Great surrounded down there. That is major. Okay? That's major. Because that brings the small hats into the picture. You understand? What if Vlad turns his attention to what the fuck is going on? See, theoretically, Vlad is fighting against, in the people's eyes, Vlad is fighting against the Ukraine in Eastern Europe. But who is Vlad fighting against in Syria? He's fighting against Babylon. Right? With who? With Xi, with the Ayatollah, the homie. He comes by just to see Gilbert on his chopper. He's crazy. He came by on his chopper. He pulls in so he can wave at me. Going back fucking 15 years now. Wow. Crazy Gil. So that's significant. What are we doing? We're measuring the time, right? Okay. How do we measure the time? Well, we see how the Most High is stirring up the Medes. Definitely doing that. After the assassination, do you think this dude ain't mad right now? They could be right now, they could be moving, right? Bakhmut is already captured, right? Where's this counteroffensive? Where's this spring counter? Shit, it's hot as hell. It's 95 in the valley yesterday. Hot than a motherfucker. Pushing 115 real quick. What does that mean? It's summer. Spring is, spring done sprung. And now we moving into motherfucking hell in the valley. Somebody tried to say that, oh, well, the snow is going to melt and it's going to flood the Central Valley. No, it's not. Nigga, the snow is evaporating straight into the sky. So whoever told that lie about this place that's still supposed to be in a drought, right? Oh, that's not going to help the drought. Is it or is it not, motherfucker? You let all that water go right back out into the fucking ocean. We're not stupid. But then there's so much snow up there, which there's not, that it's going to flood the valley. No, it's not. See, we know about you, you fucking devil. We know how you get out. And you ain't scaring nobody. And you're not creating something. We know you might be able to flood it. You stored up some water, which what is that dam up there in Colorado? That motherfucker was damn near dry. And now there's enough water to flood the valley suddenly. See, we're aware. We're not ignorant of your devices, you fucking adversary. So, the point is this. We're very, very, very close. Did I get to it? Back to what the Elder Apostle is doing by giving you a time frame. It's just a time frame, right? And the thing about his time frame is exactly, I think because, hey, when you're an old man in this thing, you're like this, man, I want the fucking end to come. Rotator cuff don't work no more. It's hard to get up and get moving. You gotta start your engine. You hop out of bed, motherfucker, it's 30 fucking minutes. Going to the bathroom and getting coffee and your shit don't start working for a whole minute. You understand? And you know you gotta make it through Jacob's trouble, you like this. It ain't gotta come quick. Lord willing. So, when you're this age, you're like this. Well, and you're prudent. You understand. See, let me tell you something. When I was a kid in the 60s, right? We would get out of school for summer vacation. And summer vacation would probably be like maybe 3 months. And it seemed like it was fucking years. It seemed like that summer vacation was like a year long. Tremendous shit you get. Summer camp and the pool and swimming and no school. It would fucking go on forever. It seemed like, you know, and I'm what, 6, 7. It seemed like it went on fucking forever. This was long before the Most High started speeding up the days, right? And when you're a kid, days seem to be longer, right? So I just remember how it was. Summer, it went on fucking forever, right? Now, in order to be able to say that in the 60s, right? If you're able to say this in the 60s, time was eternal, right? And it was. So, and then in the 70s, it was about the same, okay? If you have stories about where Jake was in 69 or in 70, in 73, okay? See, coming out of what civil rights, in the 60s, shit was fucked up, okay? I remember the mood, right? When King got shot, I remember there was like a fucking dark cloud. I remember the how it felt, right? I remember, somebody brought this up the other day. I remember when Cassius Clay changed his name. If you said Cassius Clay to these youngsters right now, they're like, well, who the fuck is that? Who is Cassius Clay? Right? Well, I remember rooting for Cassius Clay. Right? And Clay, and then when he made the switch, when he changed his name, right? It was so hard, especially for the devil. The devil's like this, yeah, Cassius. Yeah, Cassius. Devil wasn't having it, right? And then fast forward to today. Oh, he's a hero and everybody loves him. No, it wasn't like that. Not during civil rights. You understand? To understand the mood of what was going on in the 60s, during civil rights, during Martin Luther King, okay? Or who I call Martian Lucifer Coon, okay? But during that time, okay, when Bobby Kennedy, I wasn't born when JFK got shot, but the mood, I was born into that, wow, climate, right? I'm sure the elder apostle was just born. He was probably 1 or 2, right? To be born into that thing, right? Just like some of you youngsters, you were born into the 80s, right? I remember the 80s. I remember when the music was changing. It went from, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Going to the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert when we were kids. You go to the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, and then music started changing. Drum machine came in, and it became synth pop, right? A little punk rock and new wave, and then MTV, right? And it shaped the way that the music was moving, right? So if you're being born into those times, Michael Jackson is a big barometer. I remember the Jackson 5, right? and how big the Jackson 5 was for us, going back to Cassius Clay, all right? Being out on the street, and Cassius Clay is about to fight, right? It wasn't always Muhammad Ali. It was Cassius Clay, our hero, our black hero, knight in shining, our champion, if you understand the word champion, not in the ring, but the one on the horse with the lance. He's about to champion us, right? It was a thing, right? We hadn't crossed over into the mainstream. We were still in the corner over there on some Jim Crow type shit. The devil was holding front. See, the devil, he don't want to give you an inch. And what did he do? He put on a mask. He said, oh, okay, hey, come on in. I'm going to hang you. If I catch you slipping, I'm going to hang you. But come on in, right? So in the 80s, they're real good. We're talking about the devil. All right? And how subtle he is. Because he never changed his spots. Can the Ethiopian change his spots? I'm paraphrasing. Now, Tucker. I believe, speaking as a man, the Most High is using Tucker. What is Tucker doing? Got to keep your eye on Tucker. All right. The elder Ariala made a video saying some things about Tucker. Yesterday, I believe it was. And I agree that, see, Tucker, before he met the apostles, at the time they were the elders, I don't know if it was 09. It was after that. It was about at least 2012, okay? Because Tucker used to, you know, there's this guy, what's his name, Carville. Did Carville wear the bow tie? James Carville. He's one of them old Southern cracker type devils, right? An old Southern cracker type devil, right? Would wear the bow tie. It was a thing, right? Kind of like the black Muslims or whatever, Farrakhan and them, they wear the bow tie. It's a thing, right? And it actually, see, when you go and you really look into all of that shit, it goes back to these secret societies, right? The tie itself does. And then the bow tie it holds a particular meaning, okay? And they know it. Farrakhan is up there. Farrakhan works for the devil. He is a devil and he works for the devil, okay? Don't get it twisted. He's famous and got a lot of money. How do you do that in this man's kingdom? Got to be working for him. T.D. Jakes, that motherfucking snake-ass devil, is no different than Farrakhan. No different. Now, back to the bow tie. Okay? If you do an extensive research, if you do a diligent search on that bow tie, guess what you're going to come up with? It takes you back to secret society. It takes you back to motherfucking some Klan-ass shit. Right? Some I hate nigga type shit. Okay? Now, with that being said, and I heard they said that Tucker is 54. All right? So I got 5 years on Tucker. Right? I know where 5 years, you could judge a motherfucker from about 5 years out. Right? If somebody's 5 years older than me, I know where you're at. If you're 5 years younger than me, I know where you're at. You understand? It's the 5-year rule. Tucker, when he came in, he was a motherfucking little cracker-ass, spirited, bow tie wearing bitch. And I didn't agree with it. You know? So I just wrote him off. Oh yeah, that motherfucking cracker ass with his little bow tie is, you know, privileged, riding on white privilege, right? And my point is this. That's how he came in, and apparently he came in like in the 2000s, early 2000s, the aughts, right? And then he got fired. This is what I remember. And he probably, you know, went through a whole bunch of different things, but there was a time where he was fired, right? And it was during that time that he met the elder apostles. I remember that. So when he answered the question, the elder apostle, Tahar, when you watch that clip, and it's a long one, when you watch that, you see him at his best. He's at his best right there in that clip. He's smooth, he's calm, he's collected, and he's striking. He's striking Tucker. See, because Tucker thinks he's smart. He thinks he's superior, he thinks he's smart. And he was out there, his dick was in the dirt at that time, because he had gotten fired. And that was the first part of his metamorphosis. When he got fired, I believe it was then he took off the bow tie. He didn't have a job. So when the elder apostle said, "Are you a newscaster?" he goes, "No." Now, he was in between jobs at that time. I remember this. Okay? I remember. So he might have told the truth right there. Now his profession, he's in the business of newscasting. But did he have a job at that time? I don't think so. I think he was unemployed at that time when he met with the elder apostles. So he could have been very subtly telling the truth, you know, and being deceptive when he said no. He wanted the conversation because he stayed there for a minute. He got an earful. He was there for 45 minutes at least. Because in the footage that's out now, that's not the whole clip. They edited it, right? That's not I would like to see the whole clip because you learn so much from that clip, right? You learn how balanced the elder apostles were while they're teaching, because they were teaching that dude. They were teaching him who he was or who he's not, and teaching him who we are, teaching him what is going to befall the earth. And that dude, if you think you're smart, which he believes he's intelligent, okay, you're just intelligent enough to understand what was being said. He didn't not understand what was being said. He got it. Because you could see the metamorphosis. You could see from the beginning when he stumbled up to the end. He stayed and he got the lesson. And what he was saying towards the end, all right, he was like, so, and then he said, I got 2 questions, right? He was trying to get the information that he needed, right? Now, the point is this. The elder apostles, not one time did this, you're an Edomite and you're going to burn in hell. They never said that. They said, if you're an Edomite, go into the speckled bird. They gave him every benefit of the doubt that he might be a Jake, right? If your line doesn't go back to the Israelites and you're an Edomite, you're going to be a slave. So if you're watching, see, that should be required learning. That clip should be required learning for all GMS camps. Okay, because the elder apostle's temperament, from his first words to Tucker, he was just being cool, and he wasn't excited or anything. Just the way his first words were so sublime. He was calm. He goes, I know you. I know you. I recognize you. Are you a newscaster? And then he was just so subtle with it. And then he drew him in. He kept him there. He kept Tucker there. He didn't run him off. He didn't upset him. He taught him in the most subtle of ways. And Tucker tried to engage him. He goes, that's the Great Commission. Yeah, that's the Great Commission. And so Tucker thought that he was on a level. And here's what Tucker understood when he left that situation. He understood these guys know their Bible. I might think I know. I might know a couple of little things, but these guys know their Bible. And what they're saying about Edomites going into slavery, and I might be one, here's what his thoughts were when he left. I gotta go fucking research the fuck out of whatever the hell that was right now. Now, either he was sent out there, or he stumbled, or the Most High led him over there into that situation. Either way, that situation has everything to do with what is going on right now. Tucker. Okay? And every man of the Lord, if you're a GMS or you're a man of the Lord, you got to look at them. See, Most High didn't send Tucker, or the devil for that matter, didn't send Tucker to ISUPK. Didn't send him to Nate. From the top down, the Most High didn't send Tucker to Nate, to the Bubble Eye Blackfish, to Zabak, to Yahanna. He sent him to the elder apostles. What is the talk of the mainstream media right now? It's Tucker Carlson. Okay? When the mainstream media wants to push folly, they grab Nate. They put Nate on display. When this devil knows that he's dealing with his fate, right? What are they doing? They're examining. Tucker went to examine, right? Now, either he was sent by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, which either way he was, or the devil, Most High put the spirit on the devil and said, why don't you walk up to this camp? Which might be why they fired him. You know? But either way, there he was. Right? And it was information for both sides. Information for us, the men of the Lord, and information for this devil. Because if you think that this devil don't have all, they got records of everything that we've ever posted from beginning to end. And they scrutinize every word that's being said. They understand who has the truth. They understand, like who said this? They know who sold out. Because they're sending people. They sent the Vocabians. Okay. get a precept I'm talking to. And you know what? I'm going to just stay right here in the middle. Oh, you pull out the same scripture. You got dang right to pull out the same scripture. Because it's the milk that's going to get you through this whole situation. The milk is going to get you through. It's not how deep you are. It's whether you can take heed to instructions or not. The instructions are in the milk. The laws are not grievous. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? You got to know what this devil is up to. How? It's chess. We're playing, this is a chess game. Most High already won. All we got to do is get on the board, nigga, and you know, you got pawns, you got rooks, right? You got bishops, right? You got knights. You got kings and queens. So we're on the board. We're on the chessboard. You have to know what moves are being made on you and what moves you're going to make. All right? Now, back to 2 Peter. Going back to the elder apostle. See, because the elder apostle knows. He's so well trained in this thing. You've got to watch him. The elder apostle, right? You know who the elder apostle is in boxing? He's Cus D'Amato. Right? When you watch Rocky, right? By the time you get to Creed and all that, Creed is Rocky is supposed to Creed. He's supposed to be Cus D'Amato. Your boy, this nigga, Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson, his hero is who? Cus D'Amato. Right? If you get in that ring and you're trained by Cus D'Amato, guess what? You got a goddamn good chance of going in there and whooping ass. All right? So the elder apostle to heart, he's Cus D'Amato. And what is he doing? He's training up young Iron Mikes out there. Right? If Hebrew Israelism was boxing, the elder apostle Tahar would be Cus D'Amato. Okay, anyway, here's what the elder apostle is doing. He gave you a time frame in which to work from. 2 Peter 3:11, again, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved by those missiles, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness right now? Who are you supposed to be right now? You're supposed to, right? What was he doing by saying, we got a year and some change, or the rest of this year and some change? That's what he said. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High. That's what he's doing. And he's doing it as number one, as the old man, okay, The old wise man. Okay? If Customato is your trainer, nigga, you in there getting your ass whooped, and he's in your corner and he's talking to you. You want to win the fight? You gotta fucking suck it up and listen to what he's telling you to do and do it. Right now, you're being told in the corner, right? Not that you're getting your ass whooped. You're in there. You're trying to endure it. You're trying to make it all 15 rounds, right? That's a win. All right. Looking for and hastening until the coming of the day of the Most High, where the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. How do you make it to the missiles and get beamed up? What did the elder apostle say? I got to go back. 2nd Ezra 9:1. You got to listen to cuss. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When you're like this, when you start to fight out, you're going like this. What are you doing? You're measuring your opponent because you're about to fucking knock his block off. You got to get your stance right and you measure this nigga. I got this much reach on him. And so I'm going to sit back and then I'm going to knock his damn block off because I done measured him up. Okay? We were given, what is this? April, January, February, March, April. That's 4 to 5 months. So what's left in this year, right? I believe this is what he said. He narrowed it down. He said a couple of things, but this is what he meant. The rest of this year and a couple of months into next year. So about this time next year. This is how much time is left. So what is he doing by saying he's hastening the day? Number one, he's giving you a time frame, right? He's coaching you. He's in the ring after round, 5, and he's telling you, hey, there's this much of the fight left. You got to pace yourself. You got to get ready for these next 3 rounds, these next 3 months, because shit is going to be moving fast. Okay? Because ain't nobody ready. And this is exactly what the devil wants. When that serpent is coiled, he catches you. He catches you. When he strikes, you ain't ready for that. The only one that's ready for that is that mongoose. That mongoose. And you got to be that mongoose. See, the mongoose is ready. Ready for that strike. And it's a fight. You got Customato. You're the mongoose. This serpent, that old dragon, the devil and Satan, is about to strike. And when he strikes, after he strikes, right, you still got 9 months. If he strikes in the next 3 months, right, what does that mean? Well, you start the persecution. They're coming after you, trying to lock you up, trying to get you into Walmart. You pilgrim yourself out. You out there, right, listening over your shoulder which way to go through the spirit. You still got 9 months out there. And shit's fucked up now, right? Got drones out, and robot dogs sniffing, and no food, death everywhere. I'm talking about Jacob's trouble proper. The most fucked up time. See? So what? A year. We got a year. The rest of this year plus some change adds up to about a year. Okay? You got to survive in the wilderness, basically. And Lord willing, we get that spiritual power. But, you know, you can't count on, you can't, you know, hey, you know, you can, Lord willing, but still got to make it. If it doesn't happen, you still got to make it. So you got to come from there. Rain or shine, nigga, you got to make it. Okay? And here's the point. It starts now. It starts now. In your head, it starts now. So everything you do, whatever comes upon you, okay, here comes the trouble. You make every fucking decision from this standpoint. Shit, we only got a year left. Shit is about to get real, real, real bad. And after those 3 months, shit, there's only 9 months left. Right? And you'll see that. You'll see things progressing to that point. Right? When does World War III kick off? The brother Samat put shit in perspective. Just because you see some fighting going on in Africa right now, that's not the Middle East. Okay? Yeah, it's all going to be simultaneous, but your eye should be where? Right now, Syria. The Carmanians. The small hats. Right? The dragons of Arabia. That's where your attention should be. Right? Watching. You got to be watching those things. Why? Because you're like this. You got to know when to move. Okay? You got to know. Matthew 24. Okay, what are the signs? This Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay? All of those things in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended and betray one another. And many false prophets shall arrive and deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. Now I'm going to jump down to 16. Then let them which be in Judea. When you see all of this shit jumping off, okay? When you see shit is all fucked up and going to hell, which is those 3 months, right? In the next 3 months, right? This devil hath but a short time. We got to move shit up. We got to jump this new world order off. With this emergence, we got to huddle up now. Got to call an audible. Fuck 2030. nigga, we gotta have an emergency fucking meeting because shit's fucking spiraling the fuck out of control. And if we don't move now, if we don't move on these niggas, what about Walmart? Walmart's ready, nigga. You seen that? You seen the in the last 3-4 days? You seen the lessons? Where we at? We at grab them up. Okay, they're gonna start pushing. Watch next week when they start pushing the C-HIP real hard. How does the C-HIP come in? The money. Debt ceiling. Here come the debt ceiling. They got to do something. Right? So, whereas they thought they had a little time. Well, we're going to do the pilot program for the FedNet. And then in July, guess what? They got to abandon that shit. They got to make shit happen. So they're going to be forced. Right? You scumbag! You've rushed it! You scumbags! They're going to rush it. They're being forced. The Most High is like, you thought you had some time. You ain't got no time. Okay? So, what do they got to do? Because Vlad is mad, Vlad is finna do something to make, see, they got to hide this shit. How many? 38 trillion? And you got to add to that, I bought yacht and more, I bought yacht now. No, they're like this. We got to move. We got to hide this shit. We got to blame it on somebody else. We got to cause a diversion. Let's move. That's what's coming. So how do they move? They got to shut the lights down. They're going to shut the lights down. They're going to starve your ass out. And all hell is going to break loose in the city. And this is what they want. Matthew 24:16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight, what is your flight? Flee. Flee ye into the mountains. Pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Right now, your flight is going to be in the middle of the motherfucking desert when it's hot. Well, for me, get out there. Motherfuckers finna be hot. Get ready. No complaining. Make sure you got some water. Get you a life straw. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. That's where we're at, all right, brother? That's where you're at. What do you got to do? You got to, if you're not ready in your head to move, this is called looking for and hasty. Second Ezra 16:40. O my people, hear my word, and make ye ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. All right? Get yourself ready. To do what? Flee ye into the mountains. All right? And that holds meaning for every individual. Everybody's flight is going to be different. My flight isn't going to be your flight. But work out your flight, you know. You can be time to move. Everybody's flight is going to be different. So you got to, you have to, and of course, the Spirit is going to move you. But the point, oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay? So, Lockie, I'm looking for something specific. God damn it, I can't find it. So what? Gotta look it up. Shall hide themselves in the groves. (16 and 28). This is what I was trying to find right here. And I mean, it's going to be different for everybody. It started 27. 2 Ezra 16:27. So that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice, for of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be left 3 or 4. So like, even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search the houses with the sword. Okay, so the point being made is this, all right? And every man's flight is going to be different. Let me get this as the way. And then I'm going to bring this camp to a close. I think I've said, what needs to be said. Isaiah 30 and 21. All right. Wisdom and knowledge is what's going to get you through this pilgrimage. All right. So Isaiah 30 and 21. Whatever you do, before I read this, whatever you do, understand this, okay? The only way out of Jacob's trouble. Let's get there. Hey, Jacob's trouble, dude. The fuck are you gonna do in Jacob's trouble? See, the Most High, you're in a fucking, everybody's in a trick bag until the Most High shows you the way out of the trick bag. And then, that's only, showing you the way is one thing. Getting through it is a whole different thing. Nothing is promised. Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You gotta try, you're shooting to be that he. That he is the elect. Now, Jacob's trouble. How do you get through Jacob's trouble? The wisdom and knowledge. That shall be the stability of your time. The name, the strong tower. The spirit, right? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Wadash. All right, and here's the Rakak Wadash right here. Isaiah 30 and 21. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left. What is that? That's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Wadash. How are you going to get through? 33:6. Salakia. Isaiah 33 and 6. In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Most High is his treasure. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Don't be a fool out here. Heed these words. Here's the instruction. Okay? It's all throughout this camp. Right? Hopefully this camp will inspire you. Inspire meaning spirit. Put the spirit on you to get yourself ready. You gotta be on your watch right now. You gotta know what time you're in. What manner of person should you be? In all holy conversation and God, looking for and hasting. You should be the manner of person who's ready to slip out the back jack. Okay? Ryman Paul Simon. All right? Get yourself free. All right? So with that, all right, we hope that the elect were edified. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them and taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and the sincerity of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, shalom.